Welcome in, everyone. Thrift Behringer here, Georgia, Alabama Sports Live Show. Big Rich, Thrift, what's going on, everyone? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We got a big-time show for you here this evening from the Colin Scroggins Studios. Big Rich, how are you, man?
Oh, Thrift, I am doing fantastic. What a great weekend once again, and looking forward to the week, and I'm excited to talk sports.
I'm excited, too, and I'm excited to finally get into our recap. So we're going to preview the upcoming season for Central, Glenwood, Russell County, and Carver. Those are the big storylines from last year's 2024 football season. We're expecting big things here for the 2025 football season. So it should be a lot of fun, Big Rich.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited I can't believe that high school football is just around the corner. I know we got media days coming up in a couple of weeks, but I'm glad that we're starting with these four teams because these four teams look like, they made the playoffs last year. They look like they can compete for a championship.
Whew!
And there are several key factors, especially players that have gone on to graduate, playing at the next level. But I'm excited to preview these four teams.
We're going to talk that, Clingstone, Spencer High, and Beauregard Athletics. We got, let me count, Rich, at least 4, potentially 5 sitting with an athletic director. Actually 5, potentially 6 sitting with an athletic director to say the programs this week. Think about that. Yeah. That is incredible. Who, you ask?
Well,
one of them is Richard High Athletics, which is just like Pate State Freights from Josh Pate. We got Richard High's The Beats, and they are always about winning and putting sports first, right?
Yes.
I can't wait to sit down with you. No, we got Spencer High dropping with Joseph Kegler this week. Beauregard Athletics dropping this week. LaGrange, Mike Pauley dropping this week. And Troup County also. Tanner Glisson dropping this week. Calvary, Steve Smith. And then coming up in a few weeks, we got hopefully maybe 2, Jordan, Coach Scott. We still got Shaw to do, Columbus High to do, Harris County to do. So Central. A ton. Central. Man.
Yeah, we still got quite a few to go. I'm glad that we're able to expand and include schools like Beauregard, like Troup County, like LaGrange. But I'm excited about the City with an Athletic Director State of the Programs that we are airing this week.
Yeah, I am too, man. And I think it's going to be a great amount of fun. Again, we're presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, and of course,
Kinetic Credit Union.
Kinetic Credit Union. Thanks, Big Rich. All right, so we'll talk about those teams, Clingstones, Spencer, and Beauregard Athletics, and we will end the show here tonight. Thank y'all so much for watching. We're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, and then we're going right into it. Clingstones had a decent weekend as their own All-Star break.
Decent.
We'll update the South standings and more from 2A baseball, and then we'll also get into Spencer and Beauregard. Had fun sitting down with their ADs, and then, of course, it's preview time for high school football. We are literally 6 weeks away from the first daggum game. Wow. We'll talk about it next. Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Here comes more Big Rigs, loaded with new GMC trucks and SUVs to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Choose from a huge selection of the best-selling full-size GMC Sierras, discounted up to $13,500 off. New GMC Terrains with a fresh design, a spacious interior, and safety features, discounted up to $4,000 off MSRP. Plus, enjoy no payments until October. Glenn Smith GMC, now celebrating 33 years. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
I'm always on the go. But with the Kinetic Credit Union app, Kinetic is always with me. The Kinetic mobile app is virtual banking at its best. With the Kinetic mobile app, I can easily send and receive money, make a deposit, pay some bills, and I can even open up a new account, all from my phone. And I can monitor all my accounts in one place, all on the go. The Kinetic mobile app, energized banking at its best.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
What's going on, everyone? Thrift Barons here, back live from Colin Scroggin CNAW2 Studios. It is Thrift. It is Big Rich. Rich, how you been, man?
Oh, man, I've been doing great. Great weekend. Just a lot of sports that I really am excited that we're getting to be able to call.
All right, let's talk about the Columbus Clingstones. They were in first place. Remember, 8-5 just literally last week. They are now 9-8 and a game and a half back from the team they actually got beat during that All-Star break, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Columbus now in these last 4 games is 1-3, and because of that, they're tied with Montgomery. Biloxi, who I think they're kind of just riding the wave. They already clinched their way in the playoffs. I don't think they don't really care about the second half.
Not at all.
Because even if they finish first place, it means nothing. They already clinched their first half. So right now, you got Pensacola in first place. What did you see from this past weekend with the Clingstones?
Well, the Columbus Clingstones took 3 out of 6 against the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. They could have won 4 out of 6, but there was a game that they just let slip away in that 9th inning when Pensacola scored on a wild pitch. I happened to be at that game. It was a great pitching performance by Landon Harper. Ian Mejia, who came back to the Clingstones after getting shortly promoted up to AAA Gwinnett, gets the win over the Clingstones earlier this afternoon, and now everybody gets to have a little bit of break. They've got the All-Star break. I know that J.R. Ritchie's going to be in the Futures game, and that means a couple of days off, and then they're going to be on the road for a 3-game series against the Rocket City Trash Pandas, and then they are back at Synovus Park July the 22nd, and it should just be an awesome time for the Clingstones just to get back into the swing of things. I tell you what, every time I go to Synovus Park, Thrift, it is always an experience, and I enjoy myself. And they've done a great job just making this an exciting event for the city of Columbus. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing more and more Clingstones swag and gear all over the city. I know I got myself a Clingstones t-shirt. My wife got a Clingstones t-shirt. I'm just seeing just Clingstones gear everywhere, and it is great. We are embracing the Clingstones in this town. Wouldn't you agree, Thrift?
Are you?
I am. Definitely.
Are you embracing them?
Absolutely. I am behind the
How many games have you
Clingstones.
been to?
I have been to 4 games.
And they have played from right now, the total standings and overall record this year, Columbus has the second worst record in all of the Southern League at 35-48. The worst is the Rocket City Trash Pandas. They have 35-48, Richard, which means they have played 83 games, and half of them have been at home.
Yeah,
And you've been to 4.
that's right.
And you feel like you embrace the clean zones? Because I feel like there's a ton of fans out there, especially from the ones I know with the season ticket holders, they've been to 10, 15.
Yeah, I know.
And as a member of the media, I thought you would have just been to a little bit more.
I agree, Thrift, but during the season, there was a lot of things that we were doing, and I was calling games for Columbus United.
Rich, just say you were doing Georgia Alabama Sports
I was
Live.
doing
It makes
Georgia
it
Alabama
tough.
Sports Live. Yeah, it makes it tough to go to a Clean Stones game, and
Yeah.
and like as much as we want to, because we do have media credentials that we can go to as many Clean Stones games as possible. But it has been an experience, and I know we want to see them do well and be a winner because Columbus likes a winner. But you got to think of it as, the Braves AA affiliate. And I know that General Manager Pete Lavin would say that it's about developing these players to be ready for AAA Gwinnett and eventually the big club. But we want to see the Clintstones come out and win that second half so they can get into the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a good point. And I was being facetious there with Big Rich, but not a bad start. 9-8, got a long way to go till the end of the season. Last regular season game is September the 14th. When that happens, we put an end to Columbus United. I want to let you kind of give your last overall. We'll hopefully maybe have a recap show this week, Rich. Well, you'll get and you're supposed to be doing that. You 100% will be. We got a recap show of Columbus United with Brett Teach, and you're going to get JD Hester and Alina Hitchcock. You're going to get a couple players. It is going to be an incredible
it's going to be
show.
Off the hook. It's just going to be a big party for Columbus United FC. But the thing is, they didn't make the playoffs. It was their first year in USL2. They had a tough season. There were some games that they let slip away, especially against Birmingham Legion, where they were up 1-0 in the 80th minute. But they did finish strong. They defeated Apotheos FC last week, 2-0. They were able to defeat that team out of the Columbus out of Fort Benning. The Columbus Night Eagles, they defeated them 7-2. It was the largest output in Columbus United FC history as far as scoring goals. And Coach Brett Teach has done a fantastic job. So has J.D. Hester, Michael Hitchcock, the owners, Eleni Hitchcock, the general manager, Paxton Bush, director of operations. It's been just an incredible season, and I cannot wait for year 3.
So they finished 5-2-5. They were tied for 4th in the USL. They had 18 goals for, 15 against. Asheville, 43 goals and 3 against. They were just dominant, Richard.
Yeah.
And then Dothan also was the only undefeated team. Excuse me. The only undefeated team was Asheville. Dothan finished 10-2. Asheville finished 10-2-0 with a draw. Columbus United had 5-2-5. I still think a really good year for this second year. And then remember, Columbus United did a great job last year. They remain outside qualifications, but they were very close in making it with Asheville and Dothan leading the pack. So great season for Columbus United. I cannot wait for the Columbus United recap show. It is going to be an incredible broadcast, Richard, maybe even 2 hours long, just dedicated to everything happening in Columbus United this year.
And I would love to do this show, but with our conflicting schedule, we're going to be at SEC Media Days next week. You're going on vacation the following week. I'll try to work it in my schedule, but yeah, it's definitely going to be on the horizon.
It definitely is going to happen this week. And Big Rich, we're dropping it this Thursday. So I cannot wait for Columbus United recap show coming up. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to dive right into Spencer High and Beauregard Athletics. And then we told you it's our preview for 2025. And then Big Rich is going to have a big week this week. We got SC Media Days we're covering for Sports Visions.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Going to be up there tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Rich has got to work on an entire Columbus United recap show he is going to spend a lot of effort on. We'll be right back after this.
It's a great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Take to the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $13,000 off MSRP. New 2026 Chevy Equinox with all-around versatility and affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
I'm always on the go. But with the Kinetic Credit Union app, Kinetic is always with me. The Kinetic mobile app is virtual banking at its best. With the Kinetic mobile app, I can easily send and receive money, make a deposit, pay some bills, and I can even open up a new account, all from my phone. And I can monitor all my accounts in one place, all on the go. The Kinetic mobile app, energized banking at its best.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia-Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia-Alabama Sports Live.
And we're back here from the Colin Scroggins studios, and we said Spencer and, of course, Beauregard Athletics. We were going to recap. Richard, let's first start with Spencer High School. They were led by Joseph Kegler. I will be dropping that this week that I sat down with him. He's been there for quite some time. He has turned Spencer's football program into a legitimate contender. He has won region championship at the region championship. He's made playoff runs. He's won playoff games. He has turned them from a dormant program that was happy to be 500 every now and then to a team that is expected to compete for region championships. What a job by him. And it's really trickled down for the rest of Spencer Athletics.
Absolutely. The volleyball team making it to the second round of the playoffs. The basketball team making it to the Elite Eight. The baseball team was on the doorstep of the playoffs as they saw improvement. I'm just excited about Spencer Athletics, the direction they're headed, and don't sleep on that Spencer football team. They could compete for a region title. They got Elijah Fudge coming back as the starting quarterback. CJ Starr, who had 200 tackles last year. He was the leading tackler in the region. He's coming back as the leading tackler. And they are just going to be a dangerous team. They are the team to watch out for in that region. And that just goes to show that Heritage Bowl in week 2 between Carver and Spencer, I think could decide the region. I honestly think so. I think that it could be Carver and Spencer, and when it's all said and done.
Yeah, 100% could be. And I also think Elijah Fudge could be the player of the year next year, one of the best quarterbacks. Then in basketball, Coach Tench made a playoff run last year, and he's continued to do that. The girls' basketball coach, the boys' basketball coach, Quintavious Allen, has a state championship, 2 region championships, and now last year made it to the Elite Eight, and they lost to Carver. what a season for them.
What a
Kerry
season.
Griffin does lead. I mean, he left at 15 points a game, and Josh Sheldon, but they got a bunch of great players coming back, and I think they're going to be a team that, as they've won region and Sweet 16 both years in a row. Remember 2022, they made it the championship. Really, Spencer's basketball team has been just a dominant program. They're really competitive in other sports, and it's credit again to Rosa Patterson, Joseph Kegler, and the entire staff over there. Quintavious Allen put the students first. Spencer Athletics in good hands, and they got a big season on the horizon.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the Spencer Green Wave do this upcoming season. And, it's going to start with volleyball and softball as well. Their soccer programs are always good. And I'm just really excited because, we think of Spencer, you think of that new school they moved into, and then they just have great facilities over there. And it is just great. That Monk Johnson Sports Complex is phenomenal. I enjoy calling games there. I called several baseball games, softball games, and they just really embrace the community over at Spencer.
I'm glad you brought up Monk Johnson. They're alumni over at Spencer. They care about the community. They care about Spencer. They care about the kids. It's been impressive, man.
Yeah.
Really been an amazing. And I love Monk Johnson. Such a big community leader.
Truly
in
is.
our area.
And Otis Sistrunk as well.
For Beauregard, we're expanding. Wade Thorne is AD over there.
Yeah.
He's been a long time assistant football coach, was on the state championship winning appearance at teams and state championship winning teams. He's also been the wrestling coach over the last couple of years and has a dominant program coming up. And we're excited. His son is actually just signed with Newberry College.
Nice.
Last year, they went 5-6. They lost their coach, and they hired a guy that won a state championship. And Coach Watley, who's done an amazing job at Wadley and won a state championship there. And so now he'll take over a Beauregard program that I think is going to be really successful. Softball made it to the AHSA state tournament in Los Alexandria. They went 37-12 last year. The boys soccer team made a playoff appearance along with the girls. The wrestling should be very competitive. Baseball, they lost in the playoffs, did make it, and were second in the region. Beauregard, right about 10 minutes from Opelika. The Hornets, we went to their facility. They got a Taj Mahal basketball stadium, a huge auditorium in which they do their signing days. The football program has been elevated. Baseball, their facilities there were top-notch. The school's amazing. Wade Thorne should be super proud of the amazing job him and the leadership over there have done, and Dr. Howard, the superintendent. I'm so glad we're expanding up to Beauregard. I'm expecting big things. And you never heard of Beauregard. You will this year. The Hornets should be exciting.
Yeah, we are excited that we're going to be able to showcase Beauregard on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. This is a 5A school in the same region with Valley. Russell County plays them in sports as well. I mean, if you haven't heard about Beauregard, they're still in our coverage area. It's a tight-knit community that just has great sports. Their football team won a state championship a couple of years ago, and their softball team, going to the state championship. That's very impressive as well. And they've had great players like Ja'Cory Tarver, and he was a great running back for many years that played for the Beauregard Hornets. And also, they just have a winning tradition and a passionate fan base.
And we are going to be excited that this year we'll be able to get some games. And guess who they play to? Russell County.
Russell County.
How about that?
Yeah.
They'll be at Russell County. That should be a lot of fun. All right, let's finally do it. We told you we're recapping and previewing the major storylines for last year, Big Rich. And we'll first start with the defending state champion, the Carver Tigers. We talked about last year winning the state championship, the dominant run, 52-14. They beat Appling County 49-6, Pierce County 44-7, and Washington High 55-0. Are you kidding me? That was their playoff run. What a dominant performance by Carver. They're expected this year to be huge. I think the quarterback position, they have multiple players that are very successful. They got Kiari KJ Miles, who committed to North Carolina as one of the top receivers, even though he missed most of 2024 with injuries. Jacoby Caslin, he may be the best athlete in the entire area. Kelson Popcorn Tarver is elite.
Great running back.
You got guys like incoming freshman Zach Watts, who is already a national phenom. The defense led by Tristan Gibbons. It's going to be great. Parker Pritchett, 6'4" interior offensive lineman, already committed to Auburn. Zamar Zebo McGee, a lineman on both sides of the ball. Terrence Trey Warren III, a junior, offers from Ohio State and South Florida. Kingston Brown, looked in at by South Carolina. I mean, the talent is there. Here's the big question mark. Jarvis Jones. And if we could, man, I wish we could get their schedule up. Can Carver, under Jarvis Jones' leadership, go back-to-back, Rich?
I think they can. Is because they're one of the top teams in 2A. And if you look at their schedule, they actually will go to Fayetteville to play Whitewater, which is a 3A school. They're in the same region with LaGrange and Troup County. Obviously, that game against Harris County is going to be tough because they lost to Harris County last year. But this time, they're going to get Harris County to Otis Spencer Stadium. Having to play Northside, who's rebuilding. But once you get into that region schedule, Sumter County is really the team after Spencer, because I think the Spencer game and the Sumter County game is going to be tough. They have to play Sumter County in Americus, but they made a statement last year when they beat Sumter County 31-0. They steamrolled through everybody on their schedule, minus Harris County, because they did lose that game 15-6. But they proved all the critics wrong when they knocked off the defending champs, Pierce County, and then they defeated Appling County, and then Burke County in the state championship. I think that Carver's path to the state championship is going to be the same because they have that culture. They still have great players. Tristan Givens is one of the best defensive linemen in the country. And KJ Miles, who had, like you mentioned, all those injuries from last year, is going to be a great possession wide receiver. Jacoby Caslin. There's just so many weapons. And I know that Jarvis Jones is going to have success in his first year as the Carver head football coach.
I no doubt about it. They open up a scrimmage against Lee County. And then their first game is against Whitewater. Then we got the Heritage Bowl against Spencer. How about that rematch against Harris County?
Oh, yeah.
29th. Good
Cannot wait for
night.
that one.
Also, September the 12th, we have Northside. Then they have Columbus, Hardaway Shaw, Sumter County, Jordan, and Kendrick to wrap it up. So the two non-conference games are Whitewater and Harris County, and Northside, excuse me. Harris County, Northside, and Whitewater are the three games. So give Jarvis Jones some time. Again, talented team, but remember, it got off to a slow start last year. This is his first time as a head job. Just allow some growth, allow some learning experiences. And I think this Carver team is way too talented to not make another deep playoff run. I just feel like this team, as comes in 2025, as they should, is one of the favorites to win it all again in 2A. And they should, in my opinion, be the number one team preseason-wise coming in next year.
No question about it, because they have the talent. Even though they lost a lot of talent from last year's team, they still are the team to beat in 2A. And I expect Carver to go back-to-back as 2A state champions.
Central. Last year, 10-3, lost in the state championship game to Thompson, 21-7. They did beat Hoover on the road at Vestavia Hills. James Clemens, they were 7-1 at home, 3-1 on the road. They won by 20 points per game. But for the first time in a while, they were second in the region, Richard. They not only lost to Auburn, they also lost to Opelika. So they came second in the region. Opelika and Auburn both got beat early on. Central made the state championship run. Patrick Nix record since being at Central, guess what? 54-12 with 3 state title appearances and won the championship in 2023. 54-12. I think that this team has a chance. They're ranked preseason for Max Preps top 5 coming in the state of Alabama, ranked around 100th in the nation. I think their strength of schedule is going to be tough. You got Pinson Valley on the road at First Academy, then Smith Station, Enterprise, IMG, Auburn, and then you also got to put in there Dothan, Carver, Montgomery, Opelika, also included in it. So tough schedule. Replacing an All-American quarterback and Andrew Offer is ever easy, but this team reloads. I expect Patrick Nix by the end of the year to have 8 or 9 wins, region champs, having a chance heading this postseason to win a championship.
I think Bobby Coleman is going to have a phenomenal year as the quarterback. He is the younger brother of Cam Coleman, who is at Auburn. And he's got some weapons coming back. Even though Central lost Dalen Upshaw, he is now at the U. You got Braden Brown, and you also have Jay Sean Woodhouse and Donovan Crow. Those going to be your two running backs. I know that Central likes to throw the football around because they had just that quarterback style. Andrew Alford just likes to air it out. But one thing that was very underrated about this Central team, when you have offensive line led by Mal Waltrip, that you're able to get some holes for Tristan Williams, but he's no longer there. But you've got that duo of running backs with Woodhouse and Crow, and Tristan Lyles. This is a guy who had 11 sacks last year. He could end up having an impact like TJ Parker did for Central a couple years ago. Now he's at Clemson. He's projected to be a first-round draft pick. I think that Tristan Lyles is the guy to watch out for. They got some other great defensive players on their team like Marquise Cooper. But this Central team is loaded. They don't just rebuild, they reload. Think about all the great players that have gone on to play at the next level. And I'll be honest with you, Thrift, Thompson isn't going anywhere. We know Auburn's going to be good. We know that Smith Station's going to be improved with Coach Blair Harrison at the helm. And Opelika is going to be improved as well, because this region is the toughest region in Alabama. But you know that Thompson's going to be waiting there. More than likely, they're going to be in the championship. And I think it's going to be either Central versus Thompson or Auburn versus Thompson. And I just think that is the goal, to try to win the state championship. But you got a team like Thompson, Hewitt Trustful, Hoover, Vestavia Hills. You got some loaded teams in 7A that could be there when it's all said and done.
I think that is a great point. Another big storyline in last year, probably one of the biggest stories, if not the biggest, was the Glenwood Gators. First year in the AHSAA. They went 9-0 during the regular season, did not lose a game. They were undefeated in region play. They dominated teams like Lee Scott and Sylacauga, also beat Wadley, the state champion. But then they lost 42-46 after having a double-digit lead against Alabama Christian Academy in their final game of the season. It didn't end the way they wanted to, but this team was excellent. Offensive firepower. They averaged over 40 points a game, Richard. Their defense were lights out except for that last game, and they won another region title after 2022 and 23. Glenwood this year has got Valley to start off, and then they play Elba, Comer, Childsburg, and Beulah. They also got Lee Scott, Dadeville, Sylacauga, and Randolph County within their own region this year. Coach Ryan Nelson was one of the 2025 Coach of the Year semifinalists. Yeah. And I think that this team has what it takes to win another championship. Again, replacing a lot of seniors. Mason McCrane, Levi Pender, the quarterback. But I think there's enough talent. Jermaine Brown, the running back. I think there's enough talent, though, on this Glenwood team. And Coach Nelson, the coach he is. And in the region they play in, then I think they still have a chance to make a playoff run. Undefeated, I find that may be tough. But I can see this team winning 7 or 8 games next year.
Well, they're going to have a brand new quarterback that's going to be in there. We don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. We'll just have to wait and see. But they are losing their top 2 rushers, Jermaine Brown and Makai Simpson. They were the transfers. Jermaine Brown was the transfer from Smith Station. Makai Simpson, the transfer from Opelika. Carter Judah, who was the leading rusher 2 years ago, is going to get the bulk of the carries. And Cal Lawrence, look out for Cal Lawrence to be a possession receiver. He's going to be their leading receiver. But the thing about a Coach Nelson coach team is there's a lot of young players that are ready to step up in the starting role. Just looking across the defense, losing a guy like Emory Davis, who averaged 10 tackles a game, that's going to be a tough loss. But, you got Carter Judah, who's kind of your Iron Man type player. Kind of like what Cam White was a couple of years ago, playing on both sides of the ball.
What?
Yeah, he plays defensive back and he plays running back. I think that Carter Judah is going to have a great season. Tanner Pickering, that's a player to watch out for. He had 5 interceptions last year. And then Asher Long, who's coming in as a junior, is going to be another defensive player to watch out for. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for Glenwood, but we know they're still going to be good because in that area with Lee Scott, which is always going to be a tough opponent. Randolph County is always good. They are a playoff team. Beulah is on the doorstep of the playoffs. They do have a very tough region, but I also think that first round playoff exit last year, they learned something from that. They made a lot of mistakes in that game. I still think that Glenwood is going to get back to the 3A AHSAA state playoffs, and they'll go a little bit further. I believe in this team. I believe that when it's all said and done, they'll be one of the top teams in 3A.
I think that's a great point, Richard, and I can't wait to see how the Glenwood Gators team faces out. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with Russell County and get out of here. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show with Big Rich and Thrift. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
I'm always on the go. But with the Kinetic Credit Union app, Kinetic is always with me. The Kinetic mobile app is virtual banking at its best. With the Kinetic mobile app, I can easily send and receive money, make a deposit, pay some bills, and I can even open up a new account, all from my phone. And I can monitor all my accounts in one place, all on the go. The Kinetic mobile app, energized banking at its best.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show. Richard, I'll let you kick it off with Russell County.
Oh, thank you, Thrift. Russell County.
What do you know about him?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
I've said that I was the public address announcer. I say it like a billion times. But
When?
Yeah, 2021.
Who hired you?
That would be Coach Dylan Griggs.
I thought it was Larry Knox.
So Larry Knox was the athletic director. He got hired in 2022. But Coach Griggs, who has been the Russell County head coach for his 4th season now, leading Russell County to the second round of the playoffs for the first time since 1998. It was just a huge success story for the Russell County Warriors. And guess what? Their all-world, all-state quarterback, Bryson Riggins, is coming back. You know, he had 40 touchdowns last year. I expect him to put up those numbers this year. He is losing his leading receiver, Denver Harper, but he's got Quentin Lewis and Jamari Burnett. Those are pretty good wide receivers. Losing the starting running back, Devin Brown, but I expect Chris Lucas and Noah Sterling to get the bulk of the carries. On defense, the leading tackler is coming back, Tyrone Davis and Eldrick Page. And then you also got Isaiah Thomas coming back, who had 6 sacks last year. They did lose several key defensive players like Cameron Reese and like Adrian Wiley, but I still think this Russell County team in a tough region with Wetumpka and Pike Road. You also have Park Crossing in this region as well. Percy Julian is in this region. Now, they go on the road to take on Carroll, and then they go down to take on Eufaula. Their first home game at Russell County will be September 5th against Wetumpka. And I feel that Russell County made a statement when they beat Wetumpka on the road last year. I think that this Russell County Warriors team is going to continue to just build off of what they did last year and make a deep playoff run, because I am that much of a believer in the culture that Coach Griggs is setting at Russell County.
I think that is a great point, Richard, and I think it's awesome to see wide receiver, quarterback Jamari Burnett, as you may mention, Quentin Lewis. These are Caden Jackson, Eldrick Page. It's on defense. They were a really good team in 6A last year in Region 2, and they should be maybe region champs this year. They got to take on Wetumpka, Percy Julian, Stanhope, Elmore, Park Crossing, Pike Road, and then play non-region games against Eufaula, Valley, and
Beauregard.
So they are 9-3 last year. What a season! Lost to Spain Park in the second round of the playoffs, 8-2. Then went to 9-3 overall. What a season, though!
What a season!
What incredible! Especially it hadn't made the playoffs since 1998. I think they are going to repeat. I think Bryson Riggins is going to continue his. He threw 40 touchdown passes last year. He's going to go down as one of the greatest, most prolific passers this area's ever seen. I think they win 7, 6, 7, 8 games and are back in the playoffs. And from what I hear from Coach Griggs, the future is also very bright for Russell County. So major things for them. Cannot wait. Should be a lot of fun. And glad that we were able to talk about them. All right, where we're going to be this week, we'll be at SEC Media Days. Me and Rich will be doing that for Sports Visions. Tomorrow we'll be live on the radio at 6. We're hightailing it up to Atlanta. We won't be back till Wednesday, but on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, dropping Spencer and Beauregard Athletics. We got Troup County and LaGrange also dropping, Calvary, potentially also maybe Harris County or Jordan, and maybe even Columbus High, Richard, on Friday. We're going to try to get a lot of sitting with athletic directors to the programs, and hopefully sideline stories with Kim and Kelly. We pre-recorded that today, and I really like it, and I can't wait for that to drop
I can't wait.
on there as well. And then, of course, we'll have our Georgia Alabama Sports Live show on Wednesday, too. So before you know it, literally in about 3 weeks, we already got volleyball and softball starting.
It's coming.
Can you believe it's here?
It's just around the corner. School is going to start in about 3 weeks.
So no more school's out for summer. Summer is done. School's back. Me and Rich, we'll never be artists in that term, but maybe for play-by-play and talking sports, maybe, but singing's definitely not one. All right, well, we'll recap and talk more teams next Sunday, but this Wednesday we'll talk everything happening around the Runner for Word of Sports. From Big Rich, I'm Thurp Behringer, Chrissy Gates. Thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.